Hello and welcome to this week's Power Engineering International newscast. I'm Dermot Williams. In today's headlines, Areva nuclear component review uncovers irregularities. Brexit to prove setback for UK interconnection plans. Germany secures backup power to compensate for grid deficit. And Siemens power unit profits on the up. A review of Areva's nuclear components prompted by faults found in its new European pressurized reactor vessels has uncovered more irregularities. The French regulator ASN said possible problems were found with 50 Areva-made components installed in French nuclear reactors. The problems were uncovered after a review of manufacturing procedures at Areva's Creusot steel forging plant. It emerged that some reports on manufacturing and quality control at that facility, which supplies the nuclear market with large forgings and castings, may have been falsified. The regulator has requested Areva provide a list of the relevant components and its analysis of the possible impact on security in France's nuclear plants. If the UK votes to leave the EU next month, it would be damaging for prospects of greater power interconnectivity with other member states, according to legal sources. Brexit would mean the UK would not automatically remain a member of initiatives and institutions working to harmonise EU energy prices and develop cross-border rules for electricity interconnectors. The Euractiv news agency quoted Silke Goldberg, a counsel focused on energy at law firm Herbert Smith Freehills, as saying one of the areas that would be immediately affected is actually interconnectors, both existing and planned projects. It is also uncertain whether interconnectors in the UK would qualify for funding from the European Investment Bank or the European Fund for Strategic Investments. Germany has secured sufficient backup power for the coming winter, alleviating fears caused by a failure to meet power transmission line targets. 5,400 megawatt of backup capacity is now on hand to cope with potential supply fluctuations and demand peaks, according to the energy regulator Bundesnetzagentur. The country had expected enough power transmission would now be in place to accommodate a growing proportion of wind in the system, but construction has not kept pace. Heavy production of wind power in areas where there is not enough transport capacity places stress on transmission grids and can require so-called grid dispatch, throttling production in some places while revving up some capacity in others. Reserve conventional power is in place in order to keep lines balanced. Also in Germany, Siemens beat expectations for second quarter profit, thanks in large part to the performance of its power units. The easing of sanctions on Iran boosted earnings at its power and gas unit helped to offset lower demand for large turbines in Europe, while its wind power and renewables unit swung to a profit as projects were completed and costs fell. It means group industrial profit jumped 28% to €2.12 billion after new orders rose 7%, helped by a huge power plant order from Egypt and an offshore wind farm contract in Britain. Sales also rose by a better than forecast 5%. That's all for now. Stay in touch with global power news on Power Engineering International website and LinkedIn group.